It's a phenomenal you, it's a phenomenal me. It's a phenomenal day. It's a phenomenal you, it's a phenomenal me. It's a phenomenal day. You've got to feel the fear and do it anyway.
Well, hello, phenomenal people. How are you? I am so excited, super excited today to introduce to you a guest that has taught me how to be phenomenal. He's taught me how to never give up in business. My mom would say, much whom's given, much is required. But he would say, do what you got to do. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. So I want to lay a foundation before I interview him because I think it's very important. A lot of times I dive into the interview, but our relationship is so strong and so, should I say, phenomenal that I kind of got to tell you about it. So I met Colonel James C. Spencer back in 2006 from a colleague. I was in Mayport, Florida, married, 5 months pregnant. I get a call from a colleague said, there's a company that needs your help. And so I said, okay, fine. I went to help this company, and there I met this phenomenal guy, James C. Spencer, helped him through one of his audits, and then he wanted to hire me on the spot. Wasn't trying to get hired at that time. Went on back to Mayport, Florida. 2 years later, there was a divine intervention, is what I would say. My husband at the time was getting out the Navy, and Colonel Spencer needed a director of contracts. And who did he ask? He asked me. So flew back home, flew back to Huntsville, Alabama, became his director of contracts. We were awesome. 2 years later, he convinced me to start my business. So that's the foundation I have for you. This is the guy that helped me move toward feeling the fear and doing it anyway. So I want you to hear his story, hear how he's so phenomenal. He never gives up. He's been in the jungle. He's been in corporate America. He's been a banker. I think he's even been a car salesman. So, let's hear from Colonel James C. Spencer. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Tonia. It's a pleasure to be here.
Great.
And thank you for inviting me, and I'm looking forward to this segment very much.
Oh, good. So tell the audience about who you are and what you want to do and what you've already done, all of that.
Well, as LaTonya has just said, I'm Colonel retired in the United States Army, about 33 years. Before that, I was a banker after college and for about 10 or 11 years, and then went back in the Army, had a career and retired in 2000. Got into this business, the defense contracting business, in 2001, and been in this business ever since. But I came from a non-commercial, non-corporate America, strictly from the military by way of the banking business. So had to learn this business from the ground up.
Mm-hmm.
I had really no recollection of doing defense consulting or defense work at all. So really I had to learn it from the ground up. But that's what I tell people. I think I remember telling you that you lay the foundation, and it's best to learn the work, to go in, do the work, learn it from the ground up, and then you're better prepared when you get to the top to lead and strategize and formulate strategy later on to lead the company in a different direction, in a higher direction. So that's kind of like my story.
Mm-hmm.
Done a lot of different things, as you said. Spent 13 years in the jungle in Latin America doing various things for the Army and our country. But I'm very proud of that. But by the same token, I'm very proud of what we've accomplished here and what we've done in the last 14 or 15 years, starting with a small business.
Mm-hmm.
And then as the war came on in 2004, we went, as you know, hit the large size business, and then we're back down now to a service disabled veteran owned business. But thanks to you and what you've meant to the company and what you've done, we were able to make great strides in this business. And it's been all business is not easy.
That's
If it was easy, everybody'd be doing it, Latanya.
That's right.
So our company, like most companies, have gone through ups and downs, have gone through a lot of travails, the successes, and sometimes failures. But when one door is closed, another one opens up. So I've always said, as I told you several years ago, you never ever give up. I've heard people say, I can't do this and I can't do that. Well, you got to find a way to make it work. And a lot of people, you will hear motivators say, if you can't get over the mountain, you find a way to get around it.
That's right.
You dig under it, you swim by it, you try to climb to the top. Somehow or another, you try to get on the other side of that mountain and reach the goal that's where you want to be in life.
Right. Well, what fascinates me with you is there is a drive. There's something that's in you that, because I've seen the company go down, I've seen it come up. I've even heard in this industry, how's Eagle still here? What is Eagle? So I need you to tell them, what's your drive? What keeps you going?
Well, different people are motivated different ways. A lot of people think they get into business and their prime motivator is money. Those people generally, not always, but generally a lot of times will fail because they don't have another motivational aspect to their life. It's strictly money's a driving force. And of course, it's very important. Obviously, we're all working for the bottom line, but you have to have something else that drives you. You got to have that inner drive. You got to have something deep down that burns, that makes you want to succeed. And that burn is different. For different people, some is money, some is they want to succeed for their family, some is they want to just have, I guess, fame and fortune, and then others, it's a self. They want to succeed personally, and they're not going to take no. They're not going to take. You have to have a certain amount of failures in order to succeed. That's just part of it. But you have to go in different directions too. Our company, we've been to the top, we've been down at the bottom, so to speak. But by the same token, once you hit the bottom, you plateau out, then you got to figure out what the next step is and how you're going to get back to where you used to be. And we've taken on different business lines now. We're in the product business. We've created a joint venture with a company in North Carolina where we're producing one of the most, you're talking about phenomenal, most phenomenal training products in the market today. There's no one else that has this product where you're training law enforcement and the U.S. military in the deadly force encounter. Of course, that's very important in this day and time. And so you're training, giving these people the training they need in order to be not only successful, but to know when to, if you'll pardon the expression, pull the trigger or when not to. More importantly, when
That's
not
important.
to. Absolutely, absolutely, at this day and time. So we've got something that no one else has, so we've added that. We're more into the commercial market than the defense market at this time. So you have to find other ways to climb that mountain. Sometimes it's not the way you got there to begin with, it's how you get there the second time.
That's good.
Yeah, and it's different ways.
That's good.
And it may be different products, it may be different business lines, and you have to have a niche. I tell new businesses that are, people that come by and say, hey, kind of give me some advice on getting into the defense business and this sort of thing. What advice? And I always tell them this: in this business, in this day and time, in this climate, you need to have a niche. Either you have a product, for instance, you're building a part for a missile or spacecraft or an aviation product, or you have some sort of service product that maybe you offer language services or some other time of unique that the other people don't have. A lot of people in the service business now, we offer the same thing. But in order to succeed in this day and time, with the dollars being short and drying up, then you need to have something unique or that very few other people have.
Yeah.
And so that will create that interest, it'll create the revenue, and it'll also create the drive.
Right.
You know, when business is good, the drive is great.
That's right. We're all excited.
The burn is there. We're all excited.
Right. But tell me, how do you know you've been able to shift? You've been able to shift. I mean, like we've been in commercial. I mean, we've been in government, and now you're in commercial. How do you know when it's time for you to shift?
When you no longer have business in that particular area, or you see the climate is declining.
Okay.
And now, don't get me wrong, the defense business is still a great industry. Obviously, we all love the country. We want to do whatever it takes to make the country strong, and the defense business is part of that. However, there's only so many dollars going around.
Right.
And you have so many people trying to either get into the business or it's already in the business. So that's why I was talking about you have to have a niche. So if you're like all the other people on the street, then you better find another business area until there's another big need. During the Iraq and Afghanistan war, everybody was making money.
Right.
Everybody. I mean, the small business, the medium-sized business, the large business, there was a big need. And now, obviously, that need is not as great. So that will tell you, if your revenue, if you look out and your revenue is dwindling and the market does not look promising and there's just not the contract opportunity out there, then what do you do? And we created this business in Texas where, traditionally, one of our strong points was maintenance and logistics services, working on vehicles and equipment, heavy equipment and so forth, providing the logistics support. So we decided to go to West Texas and get into some of that business. So it's been very successful. Something that we never thought about years ago. In fact, I thought the defense business was the only way to go, and I never branched out because there was never a need. But as that business shifted and decreased, and the climate became increasingly difficult for small businesses, then we went and we formed another LLC, and we went out there to try to get business doing other things with different kind of clients and different kind of customers. So nobody's going to come and tell you when to shift. There's not going to be a bright light come on and say, hey, it's time to go into another business line. However, you will know by virtue of the business climate itself.
Right. Well, I want to go on break, but on the other side of the break, I want you to talk to them about what makes Eagle Support Services and everything that you do. What makes it unique? What makes it be the thing that you want to do? So we'll talk about that after the break, and we'll see you guys. And while we're on break, we want you to feel the fear and do it anyway.
Engineering and science usually look like this, but our students build race cars from the ground up, explore wind tunnels, particle accelerators, and crystal growth. Our studies in cybersecurity and rocket propulsion have tech companies like Google and SpaceX recruiting at Alabama A&M University, with one of the highest percentages of women STEM graduates in the country. Alabama A&M University. Start here, go anywhere.
Make your next event, workshop, or conference more powerful with improved networking for attendees and more useful analytics about those in attendance using Confab Analytics' new professional networking environment. Sign your event up with Confab Analytics and tailor our networking environment to suit your specific event. For more information, visit confabanalytics.com or email sales@confabanalytics.com. Confab, connecting the most important part of the network, you.
Well, welcome back. So, before the break, we talked about Colonel James C. Spencer, his stint in the jungle, what he's doing now. But now we're going to talk about him as the corporate man, the Eagle Support Services president, CEO. So he's going to tell you a little bit about the company, what it's about, what's the niche, all of that. So tell them about what you do.
Well, thanks, LaTonya, and to continue our conversation of earlier, basically, Eagle Support Services, we've been in business since 1996, 20-year-old business, small, service disabled, veteran-owned small business. We specialize, the company was started basically doing maintenance and supply services, logistics services, primarily to the Army, a little Air Force and Marines, but primarily the Army. We've continued in that tradition. However, we've added business lines along the way. Have done a lot of training, both podium training and field training for primarily the U.S. Army. Fielded a lot of equipment, that is new equipment coming into the Army and the reserve components, to include the reserve and the guard, along with the training that goes with that fielding. And primarily in the last 5 to 10 years, we've added a business line called field service engineers. And that's the tech reps, or the technical representative, or field reps, service reps, if you will, that understand, know they're the experts on a particular piece of equipment. Then they will follow those soldiers and sailors and airmen into the hostile battle areas to work on that piece of equipment, to be the technical representative on that equipment. So we've graduated from always will do the maintenance and supply, but we've added the training and the field support services also. About 10 years ago, we got into the range business, supporting all the different ranges, from a small range all the way to a multi-purpose range, both in the operation and the maintenance of those ranges. Again, primarily for the Army. Worked at all the Army installations across the United States, and I believe in Okinawa. Then lately, we've spent a lot of our time in the SOCOM community, Special Operations community, and then we've created, we talked about earlier, to get into another business line, where maybe the defense dollars is dwindling in some areas. Normally there'll always be defense dollars in the Special Operations community. So what we've tried to do is go into the commercial market. We've tried to go into the commercial market, and we've added and created some LLCs to do that. We've created basically a holding company that's a part of Eagle Support. It's called Eagle Global Services, and we specialize in Eagle Global Services with consulting, both contract management consulting. We do work on heavy equipment out in the Southwest United States. And then we also created a joint venture that's under Eagle Global Services. Then the marketing, manufacturing, production, marketing of this new ultimate live fire training experience that we call Troy's Gate. So the company has evolved over 20 years. As we talked about earlier, have basically had 1 to 2 business lines, and now we have basically 4 to 6 business lines of hard business lines. So, but we've had to do that because of the climate, as we talked earlier. And but we've also done that with the great people. And anytime you move from one business area or arena to the next, or business line, you got to have the right people to go along with it. So,
really good.
so we've tried to hire the right people to accommodate those business lines, get in the right business, make the right business partners, have good teaming partners, close relationship with other small companies, as well as selected large companies that can help you get to your goals, whatever they may be, along the way. And also along the way, we've taken on, I've taken on a foreign-owned equity partner. Sometimes you have to do that, and you bring in a larger company that gives you the stability and the credibility It gives you the international leverage that you need to really get your company to where you want to be. And of course,
That's
we want to
smart.
be we want to be that large company again that we were. In fact, we'd like to be a lot larger than we were before. In order to do that, then you need equity partners to do that, and you need partners in the larger segment that you're willing to subcontract to,
Right.
and to subcontract to them when there's a need for you to be a prime.
That's awesome.
And we've done that in some areas where we've primed contracts and then brought in the large contractors to provide us with that credibility on the other side and the stability.
I think that's great. I think a lot of people don't understand that teaming is important. You know, I say all the time, we can't live on an island. That's what Phenomenon is all about, bringing people together, networking, bringing people like Colonel Spencer to kind of talk about, you know, the ups, downs, the highs, and lows. I think that's very key. So, you know, I want you to give them a parting word. Just talk to them and tell them next steps, what they need to do, how they need to reach you, and all that good stuff.
Absolutely, be happy to. I think as you hit on, I think 2 or 3 key points maybe into the whole thing is, one, you have to have the right people with you, and number 2, you have to then team and partner with the right companies, and number 3, you've got to have something that drives you within. Where you want to be. I mean, what do you really want to accomplish other than make a lot of money? Where do you want your company to go, or where do you want to be in life? Not necessarily a company, but in your personal life as well.
Right.
So, you know, it all ties back to success. And if you're motivated in your personal life, you're motivated in your business life, if you're motivated for the right reasons, and you've got a drive, and that drive is burning you to the point where you can't be denied. And that's the key.
Ooh, that was good.
You can't be denied. And then that's really where you want to be, LaTonya.
Great.
And so it's great to have been here. I appreciate the opportunity. Again, Eagle Support Services is located in Huntsville, Alabama. We're a service-disabled, veteran-owned small company. We have a lot of things to offer. We also have career opportunities from time to time that we have a website you can go to apply for those. And if you'd like to know more about Eagle Support, you can go to www.eaglesupport.com and then www.troysgate.com to learn about our products. So thank you again.
Thank you.
I've enjoyed being here. It's been a pleasure.
I want to thank Colonel Spencer for being here. It is so exciting. It was a pleasure for me because, like I said, he's the one that pushed me into feeling the fear and doing it anyway. So next time you see me, I'll be with my girl Salt. Bye.
Success begins with the decision. I made a decision at the age of 13 to want to chase the NFL dream while in a homeless shelter in search of a father that I never knew. However, there's so much more to that story and so much more that I can help your employees and your organization to reach a level of mastery.
Great kickoff speaker for us for our second season, and I'll tell you, if I would recommend Norris to anybody to come and speak at any kind of organization to get people pumped up and motivated.
For your next event, choose me, Norris Thomas, to help you master the human experience. It will be the best decision you've ever made.
It's a phenomenal you, it's a phenomenal me, it's a phenomenal day. It's a phenomenal you, it's a phenomenal me, it's a phenomenal.
Would you put your hands together and would you make some noise for the phenomenal lady, Tonia?
All right, we are back, and I am here with my girl Salt.
Hey everybody!
So, what did you think about the interview?
I think the interview was great. I think it was wonderful. And I will say this, if you couldn't tell by the striking resemblance, he is actually my father. So,
He's mine too.
yeah, she's like the third daughter, basically. I'm like the stepchild. he favors her. But no, seriously, it was good. It was really good.
You know, one thing I like about your dad is that even though he's the president, CEO, he takes advice from, you know, from other people, even from me. But at the same time, you respect him because he's so humble and it's not loud. You know, he says what he needs to say. He's very direct and he gets things done. Do you think that's the military?
Probably, but I think a lot of it's just his personal motivation and desire to just always strive and never give up. And I think that was such a great point that he hit on, that you just, you know, to be successful, you have to go through failures and never give up, you know, just find a way. And sometimes it might be a different path, you know, do something a little bit different than what you're used to. But
speaking of failures, so
yeah,
the presidential election is coming up. So if I could pencil your dad in, I think I would, because, you know, I think I'm going to take the single stance.
Yeah, I think at this point, anybody could run for president at this point. I got to say, it's a hot mess. It really is. I mean, are you up on what's been going on?
No, so tell me. I've done a lot of things.
So Monday they had their debate, and apparently before the debate, so there was an audio of Trump several years back, behind closed doors with a reporter talking about groping and kissing women without their consent because he could, because he is who he is. And so now at the debate, Hillary brought that up, and so now he's being called a sexual predator.
I saw something like that on, because I go back and because I don't want to watch the debate like at the very first. I want to go back and kind of dissect it.
Right.
But then I went back and I looked on YouTube and I saw Michelle Obama and her talking about it.
And she spoke out about it.
But you know what really kind of really made me a little bit irritated is the comments that people made about her speaking up about what he was doing. You know, they made comments like, you know, hey, you know, you invite Beyonce and Jay-Z in your home, so you know, why is that different?
Well,
it is different.
It's very different. It's disrespecting women. I mean, that's the whole bottom line of what she was trying to say. The presidential, you know, nominee should not be talking in that way when it comes to women, and I don't know, it's crazy. I'm just like, and then he kind of came back and said, well, you know, it's more like locker room banter, and that's what people talk about. That's what guys talk about, and it's like, really, I don't know.
Do we want to date a guy that talks about that?
No.
That's like really like.
That's like I mean, now all these women are coming up saying that they, you know, he was harassing them, like, you know, former Miss Universes, people from Celebrity Apprentice. They're now all coming out of the woodwork.
Now, we've heard about, you know, men being accused of, you know, lots of things, such as that, you know. Then they would probably bring up that Bill Clinton and the Monica Lewinsky.
Right, and he did in the debate. He brought that up. He brought up the whole Bill situation and women that he supposedly harassed or had relations with, but harassed. Yeah, I don't know.
I just want a plan.
It's just crazy.
I just need him to give us a plan. So I'm not saying, hey, I'm just like down Trump, but the more he talks, it's like, just stop talking.
I mean, regardless of what party you're for, at some point you have to say, really? I mean, regardless, you just have to look at it as, it's become a circus, a freak show.
Okay, I don't want to talk about that. What else is going on?
Oh, Janet Jackson's pregnant.
And she's like 50?
50, yes. She is 50. And they're not saying how she got pregnant, if it was in vitro or anything like that. But she did say last spring that she was taking a break from her tour to start planning a family with her husband. So,
and her husband's like some rich king.
He is. Like he's in the Middle East, I believe.
So if you get pregnant by somebody like, you know, that's in the Jackson family, you get pregnant for somebody that has money.
That's true. Yeah, she's not going to,
Yeah. So Janet Jackson is pregnant at 50 years old. I heard that Tommy from Martin died.
He passed away, I know. I just heard about that yesterday, I believe.
Yeah. Like, how old was he? He was young. He was like in his 50s,
early
well.
50s, yeah.
So here's
sad.
what I'm learning. Okay, so here's what we both learned since we got a divorce.
Mm-hmm.
Living life is important. Okay,
Absolutely.
And saying disrespectful things is not a way to live your life and not to leave a legacy for your kids.
Mm-hmm.
But Janet Jackson getting pregnant, that lets us know that there is hope.
There's
for
always
Miss Jenna.
I know. See,
who has now decided that maybe
one day I'd like to get married and have a baby, and I'm 36, and I still feel like I got plenty of time to do that, and I think that that's wonderful, and that's great news. Congrats, Janet.
Congrats, Janet. We're so excited. Trump, we're going to talk about you later. I'm still trying to figure you out. I think I have already. I'm shocked that some people in America that they still kind of like you. But anyway, we're not going to bash Trump because who knows? Because I didn't think he was going to get this far. Did you?
No. At all. I'm shocked.
He thought he was going to get this far. But anyway, so we wanted to bring you a few hot topics, talk about what's going on in the world. As we progress in the show, we're going to be bringing up hot topics. We want you to email us at phenomenon@morningbirdmedia.com with things you may want us to talk about. And guess what else we want you to do? We want you to feel the fear and do it anyway.